Good morning everyone, and what a beautiful morning it is, and welcome back to another episode of Barham Engines. So guys, first of all, before we get on with what we're doing, I just want to say thank you all for your really nice comments on the last video regarding the mental health issues and my story behind that. Be honest guys, it was really touching. I didn't expect so many people to comment so many nice things. I can assure you I didn't do it out of sympathy. It was one, to show why I'm doing the E30 and involving the track cars in this YouTube channel, and also just so you guys understand a bit of history about me really, and how the business come about, and the way that I'm sort of feeling when I go on about running this business and what have you. So yeah, really kind words guys. I was actually shocked how many people suffer with some kind of mental health issues, just the viewers alone. So I've had tons of messages, tons of emails regarding that subject. So I'm sorry if I haven't got back to you just yet, but I mark my words, I will do. If you are suffering any sort of way guys, we're all here for you, the same as you have been for me. So thank you again. Let's try and stick together on it. So first thing this morning I'm doing guys is a bit of an unusual job. It's something that I've done quite a few times in the past, but I haven't showed you, I don't think. It's a little job here where we've got, well, this particular one, we've got a Volvo flywheel and we've got a BMW clutch cover, and we've got to try and mate both of them together. So what that involves is we've got it on the mill here. Obviously what I do is I clock the flywheel and obviously zero the centre of it. Then I clock the clutch cover. Now you bear in mind a clutch cover is a bit of pressed tin at the end of the day, so it's a little bit vague, but we try and get it within a sort of couple of thou here and there. So round the very edge here, you will find it's about 180 thou if we measure it. So if we just measure that roughly, yeah, about 180 thou lot. So that's 180 thou gap all the way around. Now the first thing I do is I can't, on this milling machine, go with this diameter. I can't go as far as here and then to here. So what I have to do is I'm doing an M8 thread, and then I've got to do the 3 dowels. You see the dowel holes here. So what I do is obviously clamp the thing, now it's clocked, and I'll do this side and this side. Now I'm going to tap that in a minute, M8, and then put a bolt in there with a washer and clamp that down. Then what we can do is we can turn the thing round and do these 2 bolt holes and those 2 over there. There's 6 in total, and then I'm going to do the dowels. So these are probably going to end up about an M6 dowel. So what I'll do is I'll drill down there 5.5 mil, run a 6 mil reamer down there, and we've got some silver steel which I shall make 3 little dowels for. And then we have got the crankshaft, and we're going to balance this whole lot together, so it's obviously balanced. You can't, to be honest, these clutch covers, like I say, they're a bit of pressed tin, and even on some standard stuff, if you put the clutch on, it's wobbling about all over the place. So yeah, that's probably as good as you'll ever see it, even on the original stuff. So just going to run the tap down these 2 now, bolt them up, so that's nice and securely fixed to the flywheel, and then we can turn this thing around, clamp it, and do the other 4. So we have just arrived here at Mikey Dove's place. Obviously from last video you've seen the 2 big boxes full of the E30 stuff. We've got it all loaded in the van, some of it in the back here. Although a very nice van, it's a little bit of a sort of impractical work van sometimes, trying to get these big items in. The back of the van is loaded up with the rest of it, and we're here just to drop it off and have a chat with Mikey, see what he thinks about the quality of the kit. Be honest with you, the quality does actually look really good. I'm really impressed, and so is Paul, and for Paul to be impressed it has to be pretty good. Although there are a few bits missing, so I suspect that there may be another box. I did email the company today. Tom got back to me from Radical. He apologises profusely, don't know where the other box has gone, but obviously he's going to get it to us. So what that box is containing is the outer inner wheel arches in fiberglass, which, to be honest, for what we're using it for, we probably wouldn't use them anyway. There's a couple of bits for the C-pillar kit, like the strip at the top, the bracing kit for the sides missing. We are going to need that if we use the fiberglass C-pillar kit, and a couple of other little bits. But apart from that, yeah, it's all there and it does look pretty good. So let's head in, have a chat with Mikey and see what he thinks about it. You can hear some noise, but you can see no body. You went to strike me with a hammer there.
Don't you blame me, mate?
You should lock the door behind you.
No, I opened it. I just didn't hear you guys pull up.
Got this kit, mate. Come and have a little look at this. See what you think. The
Sorry,
bits that are here anyway. You would really.
Oh my God. Right, send it back.
So
Damage in transit.
You'll need
Come on.
that bit.
I tell you, this is the worst DPD I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all right, look. Look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
It's almost a useless fan, this.
Yeah, it almost is really, isn't it? You've turned a van into
A car.
well, yeah, I was going to say like a people carrier, yeah.
So there it is, mate.
That's cool.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you reckon? Does it look all right?
I mean, it's really white and fiberglassy, so yeah. Let's get it in and lay it out and let's have a little look at it.
Get it in. Right, so we've got the kit laid down on the floor here. Mikey's had a look and he says the quality is pretty good really for a fiberglass kit. Obviously, until you start offering it up, you don't know. As you can see, most of the bits are here, the major bits. You've got the C-pillar kit here, which, to be honest, for fiberglass, although we've sort of, you see the gap's not too bad there, so I think that'll be easy enough to fit, hopefully. He's just offered the front wings up here, but we seem to have a little issue over there, Mikey, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's just the actual fiberglass itself or whether this part is actually further down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit hard to say without having the bonnet and the lights and the bumper all mocked up.
Yeah.
But it could be either way because obviously we know this panel isn't on right, but it's whether it's the fiberglass that's the issue, which 9 times out of 10 you would say, yes, it's the fiberglass sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or, knowing this thing's actually been in a knock or two, you don't know whether it's the actual bodywork.
Yeah, so you can see it sits probably about 10 mil lower down there, but then the front is pretty skew-if, and we know that front panel's had it.
Yeah.
So it's just knowing when you offer the new one up, whether this sort of inner wing is down a bit.
Yeah, well, all I'll do is, as I said to you a minute ago, and this is, to be fair, really old kind of basic thing to do, but all I'm going to do is get a ladder, stick it down the side of the car with the body line.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, for the most part, a ladder is a straight thing.
Yeah.
Same as you can do alignment with ladders and all sorts. And I'll put it down the car and basically make sure that this body line across here actually lines up with the door, which we know is actually pretty good, and the rear quarter. Now, this rear quarter hasn't been replaced before, so it's not hugely too bad.
Yeah.
So, in theory, and all best kind of decisions would say that that line should all be straight, should all be good.
Yeah.
So if that's the case and the wing is actually right in line with these two, we know it's the actual body that's a little bit further down than it should be, rather than the actual wing itself.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to find out.
So this is the kit all laid out. As you can see so far, doesn't seem to be too bad. Right guys, sorry to interrupt Mikey there, but just come in now. Down there is a box, and above that box is an engine. And what this engine is, see if any of you can recognise it. It is a Volvo engine out of a Focus ST. So this is the 5-cylinder all aluminium lump that you find in the ST, the RSs, and also the old Volvos. So why is this engine here? It's looking pretty new. Now, apparently this engine is around a year old and it is a genuine Ford item. Now, this is the box that you can see that it originally came in. So if you have a look down there, supplied from Volvo, but it's got the Ford stickers on it. So it is bought from Ford, but supplied by Volvo. and it is actually in a Ford S-Max ST. Now, don't know the history on the original engine, but this one was bought from Ford as an outright tall bare engine as a replacement for the original. But this thing has not only run short of oil, it's got no oil in it at all. So something's going on, and apparently the customer did bring in, I think they've had the sump off it, and discovered this, this is one of the big end shells, and you can see, if my camera will zoom in or focus properly, it's spun the shell, so that's done the rod no favours whatsoever, and the crank is probably no good. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can grind it. So yeah, not sure what's happened with this, guys. We've got the turbocharger, we're going to send that off to see if there's an issue there, but it's obviously used oil at a dramatic rate. I don't think it's done many miles, and it's around a year old, so not even sure what the warranty was like on this. Obviously, whether it's been through the Ford warranty and they've sort of booed it, saying that it's run short of oil, I haven't got a clue at this stage. Got to speak to the customer, and we have got to strip this, report back, and see basically whether it's more viable to rebuild this one or to buy another Ford unit. So yeah, we'll get this one set on an engine stand, guys, stripped down, and we'll report back to you once we find all the issues, if any issue, and what the damage is, and also what the cost is to repair this thing. First sign of an M3.
Fake M3.
Fake M3.
What I'm looking at is basically how the doors fit, because I'm looking at this gap down here, which isn't actually too bad, really. Well, I know this is fiberglass, so you've got to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But I want to start off with the doors in the right place to make sure basically the panel gaps are right.
Yeah.
So then you can actually adjust basically the wings and the bonnet and the front panel to suit, so you can get it all roughly in line, because there's nothing worse than going, oh yeah, we'll chuck the wings on and find out you got this much of a gap, of a panel gap, and not over that side, and the bonnet doesn't sit right and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Albeit it's a track car, you want to make it as nice as humanly possible, and it doesn't take a huge amount more effort, in theory, to actually make it nicer.
No, that's it.
But yeah, it's nice that that lines up pretty good. But especially with fiberglass panels, you don't know, well, as I said to you, you don't know whether it's the panel, whether it's the actual metalwork itself.
Yeah.
Because this has been in a couple of prangs, so you know the front panel's not right.
Yeah.
And it's getting it roughly right. It's like the door on the driver's side.
Yeah.
Passenger side, sorry. Trying to get that. I don't know whether the actual gap on it is correct, because we obviously know this has had a rear quarter at some point.
Yeah.
So ideally, this is the same as what it should be, like before. Because you can see where the spot welds was. I took the striker out so it won't shut. But whether it's a case of this is all in the correct place as it would be, or whether if you like look at it, like I've moved the door, but I can't get these gaps to actually even out.
Oh, I see.
And be this height.
Yeah.
So
you don't know whether that quarter was on.
Yeah, you don't know whether the quarter's on a bit skew with, and it might be, I'm talking about a mil, possibly either way. Yeah. But that can make a big difference if you get a slight angle change here to down there.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks all right, but it's tricky, and just trying to get the door right to the rear quarter to a point, and then from that you can make the wings sit to the door.
Yeah.
And then obviously the wings will sit to the bonnet and the front bumper, and you work your way forward for the most part.
So what you're saying is, Mikey, we ain't going to have it back next week, are we?
Yeah. You'll be in Narnia, mate. I'll be,
I was going to say. Yeah.
I'll be Aladdin.
Well, at least it's all here now, mate, and I'm not going to... Cool. It's all out of my hair. I'm not going to pest you anymore.
That's all right, man. All I'm going to do is basically mock everything up on the front end, so I can at least make sure everything sits right and in the right place, so you kind of, you know. And then once we've got the front end right, we can basically then do the rear, because I think that's probably the smartest move. And chances are we'll probably end up cutting half of this stuff out.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to actually find out whether that side's further down than it should be.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
The chassis legs look all right, so that's a good thing, obviously. But if anyone knows any measurements of an E30 they want to send to me, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Since this morning we've popped over, now we've got a bit more room in the van, obviously now that's gone. We went over to see Dave Astbury at Astbury Motorworks, and Dave has very kindly donated a steel bonnet, which we wanted to fit a steel bonnet because obviously there's a lot more rigidity in these. So Dave has given us what is a very sought after front bracket to mount the bonnet, so it's obviously going to be lifting the same as the original E30. We have the hooks on the back of the chassis, and yeah, it's got the hooks in there. So yeah, well, obviously this bonnet's got a couple of little dings, but it's not rusty at all. But we're going to be painting that anyway. So we'll just drop this off here to Mikey now, and we're going to head back. Been out most of the day. The kit has been dropped off, nearly all the body parts. All we've got to do is just give Paul the headlights to give to Mikey, so he can sort of offer everything up. And hopefully we should be almost there in a couple of months or so. And there we go, guys, all done. We've just put it in temporarily with these bolts at the minute. Just had to order some shorter 10mm long M8 bolts. But you can see we've got the 3 dowels in there now, and at the back, a couple of bolts holding it in. You see all the bolt holes line up, and hopefully in the next video we can get this thing put up on the balancer and see how true it actually runs, whether my clocking has been successful. Well, once again, guys, thanks ever so much for watching today's video. Until Friday, hopefully my chest cleared up a little bit by then. Have a lovely evening, enjoy this beautiful weather, and we'll see you then. Cheers, guys.